is holding her first campaign rally in Milwaukee today. That comes after an action-packed day for the new Democratic frontrunner. She's already picked up enough Democratic delegates to become the party's presidential nominee. Now she's reportedly set to get two major endorsements from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries and Senate Leader Chuck Schumer. Today's New York Post cover calling her sudden rise the, quote, Queen's Gambit. In just 2 days, she's basically been crowned by her party. But new reporting suggests that Harris's ascent was all orchestrated by Democratic elites like Nancy Pelosi. Pelosi has already endorsed Harris. And behind the scenes, she reportedly suggested that Biden's exit could be done, quote, the easy way or the hard way. And a source close to the Biden family reportedly telling the New York Post, quote, the well-orchestrated palace coup to stop the faltering president from seeking re-election had been in place for weeks, but stubborn Biden fought it every step of the way. That debate was a setup to convince Democrats that he could not run for president. Tudor.
Nancy Pelosi's chess game never ceases to amaze. Let's face it, she knows exactly what she's doing. I believe this was orchestrated from the beginning. The early debate, the only way to get the donors to bail and then immediately switch to Kamala. A bloody primary would have been devastating for them against Trump. She knew that. This has been her puppet mastering behind the scenes the entire time. And it's genius and it's dangerous.
Cheryl, I thought the medieval times were behind us. It looks like we're smack back in Game of Thrones.
Well, an unidentified source said that basically Nancy Pelosi 3 weeks ago said we can do this the easy way, or for 3 weeks from now we can do it the hard way. And it looks like it became the hard way over the weekend with Nancy Pelosi. And by the way, she telegraphed this on MSNBC on Morning Joe when she said it's up to the president. We'll see what he decides to do. That was the nice way. Clyburn comments about Kamala Harris. They knew that this was going to happen 3 weeks ago. This was very orchestrated and very planned.
Paul, the easy way or the hard way? You're NYPD.
Yeah.
I mean, that sort of rings a couple bells. Yeah, exactly. What do we mean, the mafia?
Why do I get the feeling that Joe Biden woke up with a horse's head in it?
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, not good. You know, look, so, I mean, this is what the White House would be then, and the running of the country would be under a Kamala presidency then, right? We're going to have the same sort of questions. Who's running things? Who's really making the calls? You know, she's unburdened by what has been because she's never done anything, right? I mean, her border policy never, you can't even call it bad. It's just non-existent. And let's just remember something. You know, you have a couple of real issues here. The safety in the blue city, in all the cities really and across the country. She's the one who was tweeting, give money to this bail fund to get out of jail the people burning down our cities. Let's not forget that that's who she is.
Yeah, the thing, it could be entertaining if it wasn't so utterly tragic.
Well, it wouldn't be true because it'd be on the screen and in a movie, but we're living through this one. This is real, Emily. So let's stay there with the bail fund. So the Free Beacon, and I'm going to read a little bit from this article, put out an article on the Freedom Fund that busted out murderers and rapists out of jail, and it contends that Kamala Harris is still raising money for them. Vice President Harris is actively raising money, dated July 22nd, 2024, for a bail fund that busts violent criminals from jail as her nascent presidential campaign signals her candidacy will lean heavily on her roots as a tough-on-crime former prosecutor. Harris has urged followers to donate to the Minnesota Freedom Fund, and she began that in June 2020 as Black Lives Matter's rioters wreaked havoc in Minneapolis in the days following George Floyd's death. They went on to raise $41 million in 2020, but the group only used a small fraction of that bounty, $210,000, to bail out rioters. The remaining funds helped post bail for violent criminals such as Christopher Boswell, a twice-convicted rapist who was freed from jail in 2020 pending kidnapping and sexual assault charges after the Minnesota Freedom Fund paid $350,000 for his release. Free Beacon. It's an interesting article. You should pick it up and read it.
That's right. And this is on the heels of Axios reporting that part of Biden's hesitation to exit was because he did not feel Kamala Harris was ready and was up to par.
Interesting.
And we hear now reports, as we know, that tomorrow Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu is addressing a joint meeting of Congress tomorrow. There are reports she's refusing to preside over it. Is this an inkling? Is this a taste of the type of president we'd be subjected to?
Well, and as vice president, she's president of the Senate.
There you go.
So she'd be sitting there with House Speaker Mike Johnson, and he commented that on his or during their news conference, the Republican news conference this morning, saying that she should be there.
Well, and him saying that just goes to show this has always been a show government. He knew when he picked her as VP, she wasn't ready.
Well, up next, former President Trump and his vice presidential pick, J.D. Vance, will bring you more of their interview with Jesse Waters, Trump's first on-camera interview since he survived an assassin's bullet. Stay with us.
In 2 days, guys, Kamala is crowned queen by her party. This has been planned way in advance, weeks in advance, they said. And this just shows you how organized the Democrats can be when they're put under pressure. Because just a few days ago, the Democratic Party was absolutely scattered, right? Like you'd stepped on an anthill and ants just went scattering in every direction, right? But then in just a few days, they were able to seemingly bring the party together. Pelosi talking to Biden, saying that we're going to do this the easy way or the hard way. Like, that's intense, guys. I'm telling you, the people in power on the Democratic side are ruthless. And there was no way Biden was going to be president. They weren't going to give him the option. It didn't matter if he had the legal precedent. It didn't matter. No. They were going to have their way. This was all orchestrated. This was all planned. It was an orchestrated move to take Biden out of the picture so that the Democrats can unify behind what they consider a stronger candidate. I think that they were panicking because Trump was looking so strong and they knew they had to do something. This could be worst case scenario, guys, and I'm hoping that, the Republicans don't underestimate the Democrats' ability to take elections. We saw it 4 years ago, right? Everyone thought Trump was going to win. What happened? Joe Biden won, right? Here we are again. I still think that Trump's going to win because I think what the Democrats are putting up is too little too late. But we can't get comfortable. We've got to keep pushing, got to keep fighting. Otherwise, we're going to be right where we were 4 years ago, but worse because Kamala is way worse of a candidate than Joe Biden was. Joe Biden, compared to Kamala, was a centrist. Kamala is crazy. She's insane. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching the video. We'll be back with another video later today on the 5. So stay tuned for that. Subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Leave a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about all this. What you think about Kamala as the candidate. Anyway, guys, y'all have a good one. I'll see you later.